Welcome back to the channel. My name is T-Cypher, and today we're going to have a look at some of the new functionality that's been brought to the AV8B HARRIER today with the latest open beta release on the 5th of May 2021. First of all, I'd like to say a big thank you to everybody who subscribed recently. I've seen quite a surprising number of people subscribing, so thank you very much. I've also read your comments, and I've tried to adjust my volume, so hopefully this is a bit better now. And this video is basically going to be the special function TDC designate undesignate. This has been requested, and with this update it's actually quite useful. So first of all, I'm going to show you how to set this up. So what we're going to do is go to our options, and once we're in the options, we want to select special options. Okay, select AV8B HARRIER, and what we're going to do, we need to make sure this enable action no action TDC is selected. Just as a note, I always leave my HARRIER pre-aligned because I believe that to be better in view, and that they normally planes are aligned before the pilot even gets to them. Okay, so first thing I should mention, what is this enable action no action TDC all about? It's in many ways it's a way of overcoming a shortfall we have in the way we control our games, and in the hardware we have, specifically the slewing function, be it on a Warthog or any other controller. It's not the greatest. In the real McCoy, the real plane, from my understanding, a lot of the actions we sort of do by default are done with the TDC depressed in, and that moves them. And in the default mode with this action not enabled, we have what I see as an easy mode, where that it automatically assumes every time you move the TDC is actually pressed in, which is why when you move it, it redesignates the ground target. In the real plane, you can actually scan around with the target not being designated, and I'll show you how this function plays out in the mission itself. So like I said, just enable action no action TDC. We also need a couple of controls. So the first one that we're going to need is the HOTAS action no action toggle joystick. Okay, so let's just set this up quickly. So I'm using the Thrustmaster Warthog F18 stick, and I'm using the depress on the little rocker for this function. Okay, we'll also need our TDC Depress, and we also need our TDC accesses. You can either have them button assigned, or you can have them assigned to an axis like I do. Okay, so that's it for controls. And now what I'm going to do is going to go over to a mission I've got set up just to show you the basics of what it actually does. Also, another control update before we look at the action no action changes. If we go into our controls, we can and UFC number buttons, that you might think that's the same, but they have been altered, so you need to rebind them. And what this is about is that now if you press the appropriate button, you can actually see the import in-game button move as well. So yeah, just make sure you check that and update that if you use your keypad on your keyboard for that function. Okay, so now we're in the plane. I've got on this plane just a Teapot and DMT for this purpose of this mission. I'm in an active pause just to allow me to show you what's going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my TV on my right MFD. So I'm going to go sensor aft twice down. Okay, and what I'm going to also do is just bring up my left Teapot in my EHSD, a slightly more useful view for this particular purpose. Okay, so at the moment we are in the TDC no action position. So what will happen is if I move the TV downward, okay, you can see it moves down. I can just slew it around, and you might not think there's that much difference going on here, and yeah, on the face of it there isn't anything obviously different at the moment. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find something to look at to try and show you a bit of what's going on. Okay, so the first thing to notice is it's not actually dropped down a designation point. So if we go onto the left MFD, we can see there's no diamond there, there's nothing here. So we haven't got a target designation here, so that's the first thing that's changed. Previously, if you're not in this mode, it would immediately drop down a little target diamond on the location. So what happens next is we can go into TDC Depress Mode. So I'm going to select that trigger, okay, and you will notice we'd have now dropped a target diamond. Okay, so what other changes does this make? Okay, so let's get out of Depress Mode. Okay, so the first thing to notice, there is actually a change in the slew speed of the Teapot. So correction, the DMT. So I'm presently in the non-depressed mode, and you can see it actually moves slower left to right. Okay, and that's me going from maximum one direction to maximum the other on my TDC axis. Now if I was to go into TDC Depress Mode and do the same again, you can see it is noticeably faster. It's not a huge amount, but yes, it's definitely faster. Okay, so this gives us the ability, like I said, to have a look around for targets without necessarily having a target assigned. So I've just literally reslaved to the velocity factor, come out of TDC select, so I can now move, and it could be that, say I go on to my EHSD, designate target 1 as a target, so presently targeted. Now if I was to move the sensor around, you can see it's instantly snapping back to previous location, so it allows me to scout around the target without actually losing my target point. And if I want a specific location, TDC Depress, and that reassigns it. Okay, so that's where it can be useful. Next we're going to have a look at the targeting pod, so let's bring the targeting pod up. Okay, so I've just got myself into a new plane because I just had a slight problem. So what I'm going to do now is look at the Teapot implementation of this. So put my Teapot, and okay, I'm just going to bring my HSD across to there, go into HOTAS mode. Okay, so if I slew around now, okay, again you see there's not dropping any target points, so yeah. But if I find some targets now, I know there's something around here somewhere. So here, go to fluid mode. Okay, zoom in. Okay, what happens now is there's no target presently designated, but if I TDC Depress, we now have Teapot designated. We've got the diamond up, so now it will just follow it around. And in all honesty, the TDC action no action doesn't seem to have much of an effect with the Teapot, and I haven't been able to really identify any big changes in it. The only thing that does change it is that if you are in TDC action mode, no action mode, just zoom out. You notice it does automatically drop the pins. That's the only thing, but once you've hit that first depress, it doesn't seem to drop them anymore. See, no target, TDC action, no action. As soon as I move it, it's dropping target point. So yeah, that's it for the TDC action, no action. What would be useful to show at the same time is how some of the other functionalities come into play. So I will go into full details. There's a nice flow chart on the Razbam Discord, but if I designate that as a target and I go in on my Teapot, coming back up there, here we go, zoom on in. Okay, so as you can see, I can move around to my heart's content. If I select knows what it's doing now, it immediately latches back to the steer point. So that's quite a useful thing if you want to just jump around quickly. And if you're not in map designation mode, so if I come out there, if I knows we're steering once it brings up to velocity effector slave. Knows we're steering twice, goes to slow power view mode, which can be useful for if you want to find things. So quite often if I'm going into a situation and I spot something, I go into velocity effector slave, find it, TDC Depress, and I'm on the target. Okay, I hope you found this video informative. It's TDC Action, no action. I'm not 100% sure I'm going to be using it yet. I suspect there might be some more alterations to come to it. I need to get confirmation, but I feel that the Teapot should be able to slave without redesignated targets, but I need to get confirmation on that. But I hope you found this useful. Please like and subscribe. Like I said at the beginning of this video, thank you very much to all my recent subscribers, and see you all next time.